Last week on the channel, Jackie Checkley from Victoria showed us how to make a home brew lab solution that when added to water troughs can supercharge the rumen of grazing animals and increase pasture performance. This week, she's taking a whole new twist and she's using the same lab serum as a base to produce her own soil conditioner and fertiliser. Let's find out more. Jackie, how you going?
Oh, g'day Tim, good to see you again.
It's fantastic to be out here. I'm really excited to be with you today. You've got some fish that your husband Steve went out and caught the other week, and you're going to be making a witch's brew out of the hydrolysate, which we made in the last video.
Okay, so we're using a high protein mass, so in this particular case I'm using fish.
Yep.
With the labs that we made in the previous video. Check that out if you need to see the instructions on how to use it.
The labs is like the base of all of these brews that you do, isn't it?
Yeah, just a lab serum as a base, and in this case we're going to have fish, molasses and water, and that's it, brewed up.
But there's a little bit more to it than that. So you're going to take us through the process of how to brew and ferment the fish in labs to produce a liquid that is absolute dynamite on the paddocks, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll take you through the steps one by one so anybody can do it at home.
Well, I'll jump behind that and I'll let you go to it and show us all how to do it.
No worries. Okay, so I'm just cutting up the protein source. So this is the fish. So you can adjust your mix to whatever you've got. So whether you're using weeds, whether you're using fish, whether you're using seaweed, you will adjust it. So I sent out my husband fishing, I said bring home your waste, and what we've got is how much we will brew. So in this bucket, we've got the fish that's been cut up. We'll add all of the rest of it in and we'll use that as our measurements for the rest of our brew.
So you base everything else that you put in the brew on the amount of protein that you have on hand?
Yeah, so whatever we start with, you try and cut the fish up. I couldn't really cut that one up any smaller, so here we go, bit of muscle. Just cut it up roughly, put it in. The more it's cut up, the better it will go. I don't have any big macerating facilities, so I just chop it up on the table, chuck it in. Now, this is a 20 litre bucket, so I think maybe we've got about 15 litres in there. So I'll base our brew on 15 litres of starting material. Just finished chopping up all the fish. This is just my lab that I've got outside. Wooden table, just make it whatever it is that I've got that's easy to cut up. Then I can just close it down, start the next step.
And this really is a brew, isn't it, Jackie? It's going to be very familiar to people that do fermentations. You've got airlocks, you've got sealed containers, you've got all sorts of things going on here, haven't you?
Yeah, well, it is just a ferment, so it just needs to be an airlock, which there's a number of different containers that you can get and source really cheaply for free for most of the stuff to use this to make up this witch's brew. Making your fish hydrolysate is really easy. So we've got about half a bucket of fish heads here, that's our protein source. We'll use some water. We're using labs that we made earlier. There's a link in the description to a previous video where we made some labs. We need a sugar source, so in this case it's molasses. And we need a container that we can seal and build an airlock on. So it's fairly open, so we've got a big opening at the top. Everything can go in. We can airlock it. So because it's a fermentation, we don't want the oxygen getting in, but we want the carbon dioxide to be able to be released. So just got a bit of gardening hose here. When we put everything in, lock it up, the carbon dioxide can escape and bubble through this milk container. So we're just going to pour our protein source into our container. Much better if it's got an open lid. So we've got about 10 litres of fish heads. Chuck them into the container like that. The next thing we're going to do is add some labs. So we've made the labs. So we've got 10 litres of fish, so we need 10 cups of labs. So the next thing we want to add is the molasses. Now here's a little trick that I've learned. So we had 10 litres of protein, we added 10 cups of labs. We're going to add 10 cups of molasses. Now if you just take the molasses how it is and pour it into your container, what happens, it stays thick and it just sinks on the bottom. So a little trick that I've learned is to add it to hot water to get it to dissolve in the hot water, and then it'll mix in your brew much better. So we need to add water to our witch's brew. We need to add the same amount as what we had of fish. So we had 10 litres of fish, we're adding 10 litres of water. So I've got the water, and it's hot water out of the tap in the laundry. So now I add my molasses to the hot water to get it to dissolve rather than putting it straight into that. So 10 cups of molasses in the water, then into the container. You're not going to have video for every one of these, are you? So now we've got all our molasses in that hot water. So we'll just stir it around a bit, get it all to dissolve, otherwise it's just a thick mass on the bottom. So the first time I did it, wasn't very successful. So then I learnt this trick about using the hot water. So stir that all up. And then we just add that into container with the fish. Give our container a bit of a rinse off to get the last of that molasses. Put that into our brew. So with our container, we want to make sure that the top level is about 10 or 15 centimetres down. So allow space for it to ferment and bubble and not overflow. So then we put our lid on, seal that lid, add our container full of water there, which is going to be our airlock. Then what we do is just sit and let that brew for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, however long it takes.
Well, Jackie, just like that, and your brew is underway. This is an ideal time of year to be doing one of these witches' brews, you reckon?
Yeah, summer's a really good time because of the warmth, and it gets fermenting quite quickly. Summer's certainly the best time of the year to do them.
And those fish's heads, they're in there as protein. They will break down quite readily, won't they? And they won't smell?
No, they don't smell at all, and that's the beauty of this particular product. Over time, once the fermentation happens, it should smell, when you take the lid off to see if it's finished, it should smell fairly sweet, not sour or not horrible. So if it smells horrible, it's probably bad. If it's black or purple when you take the lid off, it's probably bad. You can resurrect it by adding more labs and more molasses. So if you're trialling one at home and it doesn't go well, you can resurrect it. You don't need to chuck it all out and start again.
Now, in terms of machinery, you have been a dairy farmer for quite a few years. You've got good equipment. You've got a tow and fert machine that you put this out with. But people don't necessarily need to go nuts with their machinery, do they? There are simple ways of spreading this?
Yeah, there's certainly simple ways of spreading it, and depending on the scale that you're doing it on. So you could make one of these up for your vegetable garden. The main thing you need is low pressure machine, because you've got live microbes in there.
Right. You don't want to chop them up. Yep.
Don't want to kill them. And a large droplet size. So like a rainwater droplet size. So you can buy different nozzles for machines with larger nozzles. So
low pressure, high droplet size. What time of year is ideal for putting this out?
So the best time of year is autumn and spring in your growing seasons. Probably not very effective in winter if you can get on the paddocks, and summer's too hot and too dry. And
in terms of rate, is there a rate to this sort of thing, or is it just sort of lick your finger and stick it in the wind?
There is a rate, and again, it depends on your application purpose. So for me, I do about 5 litres per hectare. Again, I can do that in the tow and fert.
So 5 litres of this finished product, mixed into water, spread out over a hectare.
Yep, and you can put other things in there. You can put in Fulvic acid or Humic acid. It's all fairly compatible. You put it out. So the other thing, you water it down. So if you're using it in a garden situation, about 1 to 10 or up to 1 to 200 as a ratio for this hydrolysate to water.
Okay, so not a very high concentration at all, particularly if you're doing it in a veggie garden where you've got sensitive plants.
Yeah, so a lot of what happens in this regenerative space and with the bioferts, less is more.
Now, there are some instructions if people like to read stuff and not throw it over their shoulder. And there's a couple of guys who are absolute experts in this that you got started from yourself.
Yeah, so I got started with this document here. So this is Bioferments, biostimulants and biofertilizers, and how to make them on farm. So Jerry Gillespie and David Hardwick. So if you just type in this heading and do a search on the internet, you'll be able to find out the recipes.
And we'll put a link in the description to this document as well.
Excellent. So that's got all the recipes for the lab that we made earlier and for this fish hydrolysate and application and what you can do with it.
Now the good news is you can make money farming if you spend less, and this is a great way of getting a lot more out of your land, a lot more productivity without spending a whole heap.
So I love this particularly. It's cheap, it's no chemicals, there's no poison on the land, and it's reproducible by anybody at any scale. So I love it.
Jackie, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
See you again soon.
Oh, absolutely. Now send this video to someone who needs to make more out of less and get natural cycles working for them. And if you like this kind of video and you want to see the channel go ahead and thrive, hit that subscribe button. It's free and it helps get the word out. We'll see you next week with something else. Jackie, can we come back?
Yes, you can come back to me.
I passed.